Intimidator 305 is the Intamin Giga coaster at King's Dominion, and we may never see another coaster quite like it. This ride is wild. It has blistering speed, crushing forces, and breakneck transitions. I-305 has a case as one of the most intense coasters in the world. But is it too intense? Find out in this review of Intimidator 305. Cedar Fair built the first full-circuit Giga coaster in 2000 at Cedar Point with Millennium Force. This Intamin creation was a massive success. It is still one of Cedar Point's most popular rides to this day. It has won the Golden Ticket Award for the best steel coaster 10 times now, and it's never placed lower than second in that poll. After purchasing King's Dominion in 2006, Cedar Fair wanted to bolster the park's coaster lineup. They relocated Dominator from Geauga Lake in 2008, but that was just the beginning. Just 1 year later, King's Dominion announced they would be adding Intimidator 305. It would be, and still is, the park's largest investment ever, costing $25 million. Opening in 2010, I-305 would just be the third full-circuit Giga coaster ever built. Like Cedar Fair's first Giga coaster, I-305 would be built by Intamin. The ride would stand 305 feet or 93 meters tall, forever changing King's Dominion's skyline. This ride should have been the unquestioned headliner at this Virginia theme park. And from day one, coaster enthusiasts loved this coaster's intensity. But reception among most guests was mixed. All other full-circuit Giga coasters have a giant overbanker camelback after that first drop. Intimidator 305 instead treated riders to a high-speed, low-to-the-ground turn. Almost every rider would gray out on this element, and a few would even black out. While some enjoy that display of power, others found the sustained forces like that unpleasant and uncomfortable. Some people were even going to first aid after their ride. As a result, King's Dominion added a trim brake on the ride's first drop midway through the ride's inaugural season. This reduced the ride's top speed from 90 miles per hour or 145 kilometers per hour to 79 miles per hour or 127 kilometers per hour. While it slightly reduced the forces on that first turn, most riders were still graying out, and it was also negatively impacting the rest of the layout. During the 2010 and 2011 off-season, the trim brake was removed and Intamin reprofiled that first turn. It would start to rise upwards sooner to lessen the G-forces. While it is a little less intense than the ride's original form, most riders are still gonna gray out. There were two other changes during the ride's first year. Unlike the other Giga coasters that have lap bar restraints, I-305 had over-the-shoulder restraints consisting of a thick cylinder over the thighs of riders and straps over their shoulders. While I would prefer the freedom of lap bars, I completely understand the need for over-the-shoulder restraints considering how violently this ride throws you side to side. The original restraints had hard straps. During the ride's rapid maneuvers, the heads and necks of riders could smash into the restraint, which was not very comfortable. Just 2 months after opening, the hard straps were replaced with soft straps, dramatically improving guest comfort. Other Intamin coasters have undergone similar changes, such as Maverick at Cedar Point and Storm Runner at Hershey Park. I-305 also blew through wheels daily in its opening year. The temporary trim brake helped mitigate this issue, but it was ultimately resolved by changing the wheel compound and adding water sprayers on the brake run to cool down the wheels. So between the ride's opening year issues and relentless intensity, it is possible that King's Dominion did not get their money's worth. As long as I don't wait for the front, I've never had to wait more than 1 to 2 trains for Intimidator 305. This includes visits on weekdays and weekends, both in the spring and summer. This always seems to be one of the shortest waits at King's Dominion, and that's even with I-305 sometimes running just 1 train. I haven't visited during Haunt though, which is the park's busiest season. While many find I-305's intensity difficult to experience multiple times, the low waits are also explained by the ride's high capacity. The ride can run 2 trains, each seating up to 32 riders. The restraints are also pretty easy to check because the seatbelt is on the outside of the restraint. So when this ride runs 2 trains, it can easily accommodate over 1,000 riders per hour. That helps explain why this ride can still be a walk-on even on a busy weekend. As for which seat you want, I strongly recommend experiencing both the front and back. I think I slightly prefer the front, but I ride in the back more often because the front requires me to wait an extra 4 to 6 cycles. Every single row in this ride is intense. The forces are pretty consistent throughout the train. However, the sense of speed is accentuated up front, and in the back, you really get whipped over that first drop. Before delving into the ride experience, I want to talk about this coaster's appearance and theming. This ride looks enormous. The lift can be seen throughout the park, and it looks especially daunting as you walk towards the ride's dedicated plaza. At a micro level, the ride looks great. The bright red track really pops, and the ride's theme is fitting. The coaster is themed to and named after Dale Earnhardt, a NASCAR driver nicknamed the Intimidator. There is some signage approaching the ride's queue line, and the trains have some thematic decals. Then the wild ride is worthy of Earnhardt's name. But at a macro level, the ride's theme is a bit weird. Intimidator 305 is part of the Jungle Expedition area. Half that area looks great with cohesive architecture and a safari aesthetic. But half the land is a hodgepodge of individually themed attractions. NASCAR does not fit in with the rest of Jungle Expedition, but thankfully this doesn't impact my ability to enjoy the ride. Once the trains are checked, you'll hear an announcer say, "Gentlemen, start your engine!" You then rapidly ascend the gargantuan lift hill. The cable lift pulls you to the top at roughly 13 miles per hour or 21 kilometers per hour, so you reach the top in roughly 25 seconds. The view isn't all that great because you're facing away from the park and looking towards fields and forests, but these surroundings make you feel even taller, and you're already pretty high up. The first drop is excellent. It's nearly vertical at an 85-degree angle. If you're in the back, you get some strong ejector airtime. The airtime isn't as sustained as other Giga coasters though, because you reach the max angle of descent sooner, and the pullout also starts roughly halfway down the drop. But you are forcefully lifted out of your seat for half that drop, which certainly satisfied me. Then if you're up front, you don't get the same pull, but you do gracefully float out of your seat. You then rip around the ride's infamous 270-degree low turn. This turn is fast and takes no prisoners. The current form is still a guaranteed gray out for me. My entire field of view goes blurry from the sustained positive Gs, and I don't regain my vision until the top of the second hill. I love a show of power like this. The second hill is arguably the most underrated element of I-305. It's roughly half the height of the first drop, so you fly over this hill. Everyone gets strong and sustained ejector airtime. It's extra shocking because I'm still disoriented from the prior gray out. Maybe that's why this hill doesn't get as much love as it deserves, but I think it's stronger than any individual hill on Twisted Timbers. You then charge over this low drawn out speed hill. With all that speed, you get some nice sustained floater airtime. It's a nice contrast from the prior two ejector moments. After the break from trying to kill you, I-305 again tries to kill you. It starts with this intense turn. While this one doesn't cause me to gray out, the positive Gs feel even stronger than the first turn. Those Gs just aren't quite as sustained this time. There's also a great head chopper with a support, but if you blink you'll miss it. That's how fast you're going. This turn travels to the left and then it suddenly flips riders to the right. This sudden change of direction is one of Intimidator's signature features. Your body is mercilessly tossed sideways. This transition is so abrupt and violent that it somehow causes a surprise ejector pop as well. I am very grateful for the soft straps given this element's tenacity, and there are more transitions like this coming. You then zoom through this elongated S-bend, and this ends in another crazy transition that rapidly sends the train to the right. The lateral and airtime combination is identical to the prior one. Intimidator then zips around a decently forceful low turn. This culminates one of the best sequences of any coaster for pure speed. Intimidator floors it from the first drop through this point. The next Camelback does have a magnetic trim brake in the ascent, and it almost always hits, very noticeably sapping the ride of some speed. But there's still some satisfactory sustained floater airtime in this hill, so I don't mind too much. You then rise up another hill, getting some decent floater airtime on the way before turning to the right, and I-305 has two more crazy transitions before crossing the finish line. That right turn abruptly turns into a left turn. which tosses riders both out of their seat and sideways. After one final forceful turn, I-305 rises up into the brake run sideways and then viciously uncorks at the last possible instant. This transition again delivers a lateral and airtime combination. The way Intamin designed these transitions was downright masterful. Every inch of Intimidator's 5,100 foot or 1,554 meter long track is intense. This is one of the best paced coasters in the world. This coaster absolutely hauls through 3/4 of its layout, throwing some underrated airtime, crushing positive forces, and snappy transitions at riders. That aforementioned trim does sap the ride of a little speed, but the final few elements still deliver, so it's not much of an issue for me. As for smoothness, this coaster tracks flawlessly. The back car did have an audible rattle though, but it didn't translate to any discomfort or tangible vibration during the ride for me. So what would I rate Intimidator 305? I would give this monster of a coaster a 10 out of 10. This has a case as the most intense coaster on the planet. Intamin was downright mad to design a layout this crazy. Building a coaster this fast that also features a low-to-the-ground layout with sudden transitions is absurd. I love it. I gained more of an appreciation for this ride in my recent visit because it's so unique. I don't think we'll ever see another Giga coaster quite like I-305. Its intensity is not for everyone, but the ride's power and pacing make it a standout attraction for thrill seekers. Of the Giga coasters, I still prefer Fury 325 because that coaster is a more airtime-centric layout, but I think Intimidator 305 is now my second favorite Giga coaster because of the power and strength. So those are my thoughts on Intimidator 305, the Intamin Giga coaster King's Dominion. What are your thoughts on this beast of a coaster? How do you compare it to the other Gigas? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.